So what I'll have them do is each introduce the film they're representing, or that they have produced or directed, and then you're free to do Q&A.
Hi, I'm Martin Lee. I'm from Dole, First Birthday.
Hello, I'm James Lee. I'm also from Dole, First Birthday.
Hello, I'm Catlett, and I'm from the Fort.
My name is Brett Potter, and I produce The Fort.
Hi, my name is Annick Blanc, and I produce Surveillant.
I'm Zak Kilberg. I produced L Train.
I'm Natalie Davis, an actor in L Train.
I'm Khadijah Davis, and I was in L Train.
Stephen Plunkett, and I was in Rolling on the Floor Laughing.
I'm Jack Hayflick. I was in Rolling on the Floor Laughing, and it wasn't funny. To me.
I'm Grace Heid. I was in Rolling on the Floor Laughing.
I'm Michael Prall. I was the producer on Rolling on the Floor Laughing. So I think they just handed us out the microphone, but we'd love to ask if anyone has questions of any of the films of anyone of us up here. We'll open it up. Don't be shy. Oh, here we got one here. Yes?
I'm wondering, in the film The Fort, had that couple lost a child?
Yeah.
That is one of the theories of the situation. The director unfortunately can't be here. Last night we did the Q&A. This question was also kind of asked, and he wanted to be very clear that the man is not a pedophile. And he's not a pedophile, I promise. You know, the film's about nostalgia and about, your house and like what you call home and kind of exploring those ideas of going back to your youth. I like to think they lost a child because there are picture frames in the house of actually the director as a little boy. There's no little boy, so it's open, but I agree with you.
I have a question about the L Train. I mean, I don't know who wrote it, if anything to any of you, but did you witness anything like that in real life?
Yeah,
Is that
again,
how it inspired it, or?
Sure, yeah, the question was if the writer witnessed anything like this in real life. And yeah, the writer-director is Anna Musso, who's at the festival, but she couldn't be here today. She had another event that she had to do. But this question was asked again last night, or she spoke about that a little bit. And she did, when she was a child, she witnessed something that was not like this, but it affected her, and that's the memory that I think that stemmed her to write this. Yeah.
The actors did a really good job. I just wanted to tell you, it was really good.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can you tell us the backstory behind Dole?
Sure. This question was also asked last night. But yeah, the director, Andrew Ahn, he created this film as a way to come out to his parents. He's a gay Korean American filmmaker. So he used this film as a way to come out to his parents.
The one that was filmed up in Quebec, is that you? Okay. How many hours did that kid work?
In a day, you mean, or in the film, or?
The day I read it.
Yeah, actually, so the way it happens in this park, because the director actually had this job in this park and had a really rough time being, you would see Angelou, you would kind of understand why big glasses doesn't really fit with the kids over there. And so the way it happened, it's exactly the way it happened to him. They trained him in the day, so they arrived around noon. And the guy that's there in the morning kind of trained him for the afternoon, and then he left him alone with the kids. But at night, it's really rough. It's in a poor neighborhood in a small town outside in rural Quebec. And it's a really rough park. Everybody talks about it as being the scary park, and the monitors there, they can't do anything. Like the kids, it's their territory. It's the only thing they have. They don't have anything else. Their parents don't care about them. They don't have any future in this town either. So they're really, this is why there's like taggings everywhere. They're really about like marking their territory. And if a new park manager comes in, they'll show him that it's not his place, it's their place, and there's nothing he can do.
Oh, I think that gentleman there.
I have a question about the use of the repetition of the circles. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, for Jan, it's a very formal film in a way, and for me, it really puts you inside the circle. Everybody is stuck in their own circles. The kids, they don't learn from anyone that comes here, or they don't learn from the adults that are there and that are trying to show them sometimes another way of life. Jan was coming from a richer neighborhood, and he wanted to communicate with the kids because he's really interested by everybody, but they didn't want to talk to him, so they were stuck in their own circle, and it forced him to get stuck in his own circle, locking himself every night in his little booth, and the communication between the two classes was completely cut. So for him, the circles represent that. And for me also, like the way he puts us inside the circle gets really completely suffocating. But for Jan, it even goes like further. Sometimes I don't know if the public can understand it. Even myself, I was like, wow, that's what this shot is about. You know, the long shot on the water of the pool, where there's like the water goes like that. For me, it was about always like him cutting the grass and wanting to be in the water. But for Jan, it's because there's a circle and a square. It's the confrontation of the circle and the square and the water. So sometimes Jan is a bit smutty and goes really more into his ideas. But he's very particular, and that's why I'm working with him.
In the movie Dole, what in the Asian culture is the parent's choice for the child to pick? And how did that relate to the dialogue at the end when you say it doesn't matter?
The parents usually like money. Well, actually, they actually choose for this. They hope that their child is actually a good student. That's usually the most important one, or a long life. That's what the yarn represents. In terms of the father telling the son that it doesn't matter, these are just, it's a tradition, but of course it doesn't always come true. And so he's just saying that, it's just for the sake of the celebration. And
No, at the end of the film when the lover says it doesn't matter.
Oh. Yeah, well, I think Andrew had written that in the script because for him the idea was that for this character who is kind of coming through his own identity crisis, that it's more of a, he's kind of pining for the son that he might never have in terms of just, biologically, how he rectifies that with his relationship with his own father. So I think the fact that he finds safety finally in that moment, it really, although the Korean culture does place a big emphasis on the joys of the first birthday itself is a very big event. It really, in that context, it doesn't matter because for this character, he's coming to kind of a safe place with who he really is.
For actually both of the women from the L Train, I'm wondering how does it feel acting without having dialogue or preparing for a role or relating to a character in which they don't have any words to say?
It was hard. I was laughing most of the time, so yeah, it was hard.
Okay, well, yeah, it was kind of hard, but in a way it was kind of easier to connect with the character without having to use words, just kind of how she felt, and kind of expressing that just through my eyes or through my gestures. Or it was different than from anything I've done before, but it was fun.
For rolling on the floor and laughing, I'm curious how much of that was tightly scripted versus how much of that was improvised?
It was kind of half and half. There was a script that was written at the beginning, but that script changed every day. And then there were a lot of scenes where we departed from the script, or we started improvising, and then at a certain point we would pick up with the dialogue. So it's kind of a mishmash.
Something interesting about it. When I was shown my part, I was never shown the whole script, which was interesting because I had to travel from New York to Evansville for 7 days without knowing what I was getting into. And that was the whole point. I was supposed to be the outsider. There are many places in my part that I wish Russ were here because he could tell me. I don't remember a lot of the dialogue. A lot of it for me was responding in the moment and being very restrained. It was basically my instructions. And that seemed to work.
We actually had a lot of trouble keeping the little girl on script. She just
The little girl is Grace's daughter.
I have a question for the little boy. How old are you?
9.
Good job.
22.
Thank you.
Do you have